Hey guys, what's up? Jace, Red Digital.
Leslie, Red Digital.
And it is, what do we call this again? We came up with a name last week.
It's the Red Recap. Do, and then edit Red Recap.
Red Recap. Okay, there's no editing on these. These are raw.
Yeah.
These are raw. Okay, so this week we want to go over a couple things. We're going to talk website, and we are going to talk also costs. How much should you expect to pay? I'll keep moving the table. How much do you expect to pay, and are you paying too little? Are you paying too much? Like, how do you get your ROI from marketing? Because a lot of you guys will look at your numbers, and you may not have an ROI. You're going to look and you spent $15,000 and only made $10,000. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's talk about website. Website design, every one of you have to have a website, okay? But there's a lot that goes into a website. If you hire somebody to do your web developing, a cost. How much should a website cost, first off? That's what they want.
If it costs $10,000, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. If you pay $10,000 for your website, you got taken.
Yeah.
Okay. Reality is a website, just for the basics of a home page, an about us page, a service page that shows all your services and everything. All of that should really cost $1,500 on the low end.
Yeah.
If you pay $5,000, but it's amazing, you're fine because whoever did that put in a lot of work. But once you start getting over $5,000, you got taken.
Yeah. You're not paying for the website, you're paying for the software or all the little plugins and stuff.
Yeah. So you don't want to pay more than $5,000. Now, if you're a huge e-commerce site that takes a ton of hours, plan on paying about $100 an hour for somebody to develop that stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, so those could be $20,000. I've seen some pay $20,000, but as a chiropractor, as a dentist, as a doctor, anything like that,
you don't need a $20,000 site.
You don't. Okay, so first off, you need to get your site set up. Now, there's this thing called hosting. Where do we host? Tell me about it.
We host with WP Engine.
WP Engine. Now, it's not cheap, so just understand that our hosting is good, and you want good hosting for speed, and there's a lot of things that come with good hosting. But companies like GoDaddy, if you're paying $7 a month for your hosting, and hosting is just where your website sits, you're getting $7 a month fee. That's like a Big Mac at McDonald's.
Just think about it. If I'm a lead looking for your services, if I wait more than 3 seconds for a website to load, I assume it's broken and I jump out. Yeah. I wait 5 seconds max.
Yep. So you have to speed up your website, faster landing pages, and that comes with good hosting, good image. So once you have your hosting, you pick a domain name. Domain names need to be simple. I always think of, if I'm talking to somebody on the phone and I say, here's my email address, you don't want it to be Jace at blah, 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 that they have to write down. Nor do you want to be telling people what they need to type in. So try to come up with a domain name that is extremely simple. If you're a doctor, a lot of times it's best to have your doctor name. Very easy to remember.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we got on websites? We have, once your site's set up, you have a few pages that you need. You need an about us page, you need a contact page, you need
services,
and it has to be structured correctly. Now, you don't need 50 pages to start off. You need 5. Got it?
And then build on top of it.
Yeah, always build on top of it and structure it. Sit down beforehand and kind of structure how you want this site to look. Now, what do we have? Give us some things that people do when they're creating their pages that they screw up on.
So with doctors especially, it's functional medicine, regenerative medicine, and others.
Okay.
Don't overthink it and don't we have neurofeedback. Do we want to count that as regenerative, functional? Do we have other? And then spend all day trying to figure out what's the correct classification, when really it's neurofeedback, it's a service.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that overthinking it, and people don't even know what functional regenerative medicine is.
Yeah, that's another thing. Keep stuff so simple. The whole goal, what's the goal of a website?
To convert and to get people to call you.
Great. That's it. So a lot of you guys will spend months on website design, worrying about website design, and that's not where you need to be worried. What's more important, a website or a good ad?
Oh, good ad with a simple landing page. That's the correct answer.
So a good ad with a simple landing page. And what's a simple landing page? You have your offer at the top, you have a form fill, that's it. So understand that your website is built out for lead capture. That's what it's for. Now, part of that lead capture is something called SEO, search engine optimization, where you do want your website to rank. So how you do that is whoever does your website, you need to make sure they put in the right what's called title tags, description tags. They need to structure it correctly. And then the biggest thing after your website is starting to get built. Don't wait till it's all the way done because you're wasting time. But when you start building a website, Leslie, what do you have to do with Google?
You submit it to Webmaster Tools.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to submit your website to Webmaster Tools. And a lot of times, if you've had a site for a long time, Google is already crawling it. They'll find it.
Right.
But you still need to go submit it to Webmaster Tools for tracking. Very easy to do, but submit it. And then what Google does is every week, they will crawl your website and they re-index it in search engines. Okay? So you have to do that.
There's no point of having an amazing website, but if I type in knee replacement surgery, how to avoid knee replacement surgery in St. George, Utah, you're not going to come up because you're not submitted to Google because Google doesn't know you exist.
Correct. Yep. So you spend all this money on a website, no one submitted it. Another thing that a lot of you guys do out there is you don't structure your page. You don't tell Google, hey, this is what my page is about. Now, Google is pretty good at figuring it out, but what you want to do is put your title tag in there to tell them, I am a chiropractor in St. George.
Right.
So this is my service, massage in St. George, Dr. whoever. And then on the page, you need to have that type of keyword. Now, you want to do that because you want to tell Google, this is my page. Now, how do you rank those websites? If let's say they hit page 2. That's pretty easy to get to page 2. And then as more and more people search, they start clicking on your website, that will start moving it up. So the goal of any page, if you want to rank it on SEO, is to have the best content and get the highest what's called a click-through rate. That means if they search chiropractor St. George and they click on your website
and they stay on your website,
then you're going to go up. So what do you need to do there? You need to have a good title tag that grabs attention, that also tells Google, and then you need to structure the page so that the people will stay on it. Got it? So that's how you can move up through some search engines. What are some other things that screw up on websites?
On websites, getting caught on the way it looks. The way it looks, it might look amazing, gorgeous. You might love it. But it's not optimized. It takes forever to load. It's not tracking correctly. The phone numbers aren't clickable.
Yeah.
You don't have all this stuff, but you love the way it looks, which is sometimes the fault.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a tool you can use called Ubersuggest. Just ubersuggest.com. Go put in your website and see what kind of traffic. Because in a business owner's head, they're thinking, when I build this website, I'm going to have hundreds of visitors. But the fact is, when you build that website, you, your mom, your brothers and sisters are going to be the main visitors for a while. It's just, that's the way it is because it takes time for it to index. And you may have a website that's been up for 3 years, but you're really not showing up. So ubersuggest.com, look at your organic traffic. And if you're only getting 12, 13 visitors a month,
rethink your strategy.
Yeah. Adjust, especially if you've been around a while. Now, if you're just starting out, it's a lot of work. Now, time. So once you've created this website, how long until you start seeing organic traffic? Do you know?
I want to say once you submitted it to Google.
Google Index.
And once you've ran it through the appropriate and stuff. Minimum?
Minimum. Give me a minimum.
1 month.
Ooh,
3 months. 6 months.
You go. 3 months. So I started a brand new site, and I wanted to test this out. I started a website, and I'm like, I want to see how long it takes me to basically get to 100 organic visitors a month. Okay. So I built a website. I submitted that website. I created 10 really good articles, like really, really good. Then I pinged them. I did all those little things to make sure Google picked it up. 4 months. It was 4 months, and I did it to a T like I should have. So just so you understand, just because you build your website, if you don't do all these little things, Google is not going to pick it up for at least 4 months. If you do everything correctly, plan 4 months until you start getting momentum. Okay?
Right.
So all of that, and I think we ran into that this week on a lot. People expect things now. Time. Like, even on our landing page, how long should a new, like say they hire us, how long should it take to get momentum? On everything from ads.
On everything, minimum, again, kind of 3 months for it to start picking up to a pace where I think everyone's comfortable.
Yeah.
It does take time to build. It does take time to find your target market in that area. It does take time to rank. It does take time to adjust ads. It does take time to get data back. Because if we're marketing towards men for PRP, but only the women are closing for PRP, we need to shift ads. Like, we need to know who's actually closing, who's actually paying.
Yeah.
So.
Like, it pains us to say this, but we had a client. Our clients get bombarded 24/7 with other advertisers. That's just the way it is. We had a client that killed it, actually did really, really well. What was he with us, a month and a half?
Yeah.
Month and a half, and I mean, we had his bookings to a T where his numbers looked amazing. He got sold on another thing because they had a book or whatever, but he kills momentum. When you guys get in the habit of shifting from one to the next to the next, you don't have any momentum. You have to let things start to work, and a good time frame is 4 months. I try to tell people, stick with it for 3 months, reassess.
Seeing numbers,
Yeah, because everything takes time. If you do a Google Ads campaign and I submit those ads, everyone thinks that tomorrow they're going to start working. No, Google takes a while, and this is on Google, just typical Google search ads, okay? They take 2 weeks usually to get a little bit of momentum. Then you go in, you make adjustments. Well, 2 more weeks, then those adjustments are fully in there. So don't give yourself time, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
On anything. Okay, let's talk costs.
Costs.
I'll let you go over costs.
So one of the big things we get whenever people contact us is, how much do you charge, and how much should I plan to spend on ads?
Okay.
So we're kind of unique where our management costs don't include your ads.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, some clients don't have to spend as much as other clients.
Okay.
Different offers, different practices. We had a doctor who just signed up. He only wants maximum 10 leads a week.
10 leads
He can't handle any more than that. It's by himself with one other staff member. And that's not fair to say, well, you're going to spend $5,000 on ads. He shouldn't. He can't handle that kind of volume. He doesn't need to.
And then something else on spend is you have to watch out for. So you have Google ad spend, you have to have Facebook ad spend, but let's say your management fee, or you have an in-house marketer that you're paying them $4,000. Well, you now need to overcome your ad spend and your management fee to make sure you get a return on investment.
Right.
Okay. And what you don't want to do is be paying. Let's say you have a bigger office, and you have a full-time in-house marketing person, and then on top of that, you have hired an outside agency, and you're spending, say, $7,000 on your marketing between your employee and your agency. Okay. Then you turn around and you spend $500 on ads. What's the problem?
The spend.
The
spend. It doesn't make sense with your management fee. It's not even 10%, Jace.
I know, but
it
do we
happens.
see that happens? I mean, we have
a
few that are paying an in-house marketer person,
or
2
more.
in-house marketing people. Then on top of that, they come to us because their in-house marketing people aren't getting them the leads or anything. So then they come to us to get the leads. And by the time they're into all of this money, it's like, you're not spending enough on ads.
9, almost 10 grand.
10 grand. Okay. And then we have to deal with it. They're like, well, we're not getting a return. Well, of course you're not, because you're spending 10 grand on management and $1,000 on ads. You can't do that. You have to spend, if your management fee is, say, $1,500, $2,500, if you get to the point where your management fee is $2,500 and you're spending $2,500 on ads, you're rolling. Okay. That's where you want to be, actually. And ideally, you want to be spending $10,000 on ads, management fee of $2,500,
Right.
because the money's made in the ads once everything gets going.
True. And then you also have to look at what the cost of your product is.
True. Yeah.
Like stem cell marketing versus acupuncture marketing is a whole different ballgame, because acupuncture, maybe you make what, $80, $90, $100 per treatment, when stem cells $5,000 per unit. So if you're just like, oh, I'm spending $10,000, or not $10,000, if I'm spending $10 per lead, yeah, it's a higher cost product.
Yeah. Now, but you can look at it this way of, if I get acupuncture people in-house, then I upsell them into something else, then it can lead. Like, getting customers in the door is great, but yeah, if you're running big ad campaigns for acupuncture, you better have a good close rate, and you better have some upsell down the road, because you're probably going to break even that first visit. You just are.
Yeah.
So you have to look at that stuff. Okay. Another thing on cost, be careful of. A lot of you guys continue to be sold on SEO as an expense thing. The only way to win at SEO, good content, okay, which a good piece of content is 2,500 words, okay? Don't get sold on those plans of SEO unless you have a really good writer and unless you have time to do a lot of good content. Okay, that's something where you can save money there. But if you want to do it, you have to do it correctly. It takes time, it takes money, it takes a good writer. It's the only way you win.
I think if you're first starting out, get a simple website and get good ads with a simple landing page. Once you start seeing that ROI roll in, then maybe you can start looking into SEO if you even want to.
SEO is a long-term play, and Google can change the rules at any time, meaning you could work years on SEO and then they come out and change the rules on you. And
like winter?
Oh, wait, I did that.
Yeah, that also happened in winter, where a lot of our clinics were ranking for regenerative medicine, and then Google went, by the way, any clinic that has the word regenerative PRP stem cell will no longer be able to run Google ads.
Killed it.
And they could do that with functional medicine tomorrow. The term functional medicine, or the term neurofeedback or something. So,
okay. So that's it. So that's your website. Here's a quick recap. This is our longest video yet. Yes.
17 minutes?
17 minutes. So real quick recap again. So your website, keep it simple. Mm-hmm. Make sure you index it. Yeah. Make sure you tell Google, do a really good structure and tell Google what's on those pages. You use, I'll just tell you real quick. We use WP Engine for hosting. We use WordPress for our websites. We use Divi Builder because it's simple. And then we use a plugin called Yoast to help us with the SEO side of things. Okay, so that's what we use. And then we didn't mention this, track everything. You need to be tracking your calls. You need to be tracking your form fills so that you know where they're coming from and know how to scale.
You need to know how many leads your Facebook is bringing in, your website is bringing in, and your current database is bringing in.
And that's a good point. If you go to your analytics and you've hired a marketing agency and they are not tracking your conversions, fire them. Kick them to the curb. They just don't know what they're doing and they're taking your money.
Yeah, that's...
So, okay, and then costs. Make sure that whatever management fee, employee fees, and everything you're spending on marketing, you have to overcome their fee and you have to spend enough on ads, okay, to make it all work.
Yeah.
So definitely. It's a fine balance, but very easy to do if you look at the numbers. If you're spending huge amounts on management fee, you're probably not breaking even. Got it?
Yeah.
What else? Anything else?
Yeah, if you need a marketing campaign.
And our pitch. Give them the pitch.
If you have a neuropathy campaign or anything to do with neuropathy, my email's up there. Please email me. I love neuropathy marketing. There?
It's probably down there.
It's probably up there.
Learn more. Oh, well, I'll throw it up.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it. Happy June 1st almost. Tomorrow? What is it? May 29th?
Happy May 29th, everyone.
Happy May 29th. Cinco de May 29th.
Cinco de May.
Peace.